Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller here on July 10th, Monday. New week, new month, new year, whatever it is. Summertime in the northern hemisphere, dead of winter in the southern, and we have a lot going on here as we're kind of just putting the pieces together. Several domino trips happened today. We'll talk about those. The nodes of the moon change signs on Monday, and then that big stack of energy that we talked about July 20th, 21st, and 22nd, that was discussed on Saturday. So we're going to start to lay the bricks for all of this now. And one of the first bricks in the wall, Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall. Sorry, you guys in England. Best I can do. Mars moves into Virgo this morning at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. And hopefully by now you're getting accustomed to equating these sign changes with an aspect of some sort to Pluto. If you are not in that mode yet, maybe just take a moment and do some kind of mental exercise or write a note card or something. Whenever a planet changes signs, it is aspecting Pluto. And that's all the way through the rest of this year and mostly all of the way through next year. Let's just broadly for now say that Pluto is not going to be more than about 3 degrees away from zero Aquarius until into 2025. So this is long. Every sign change, that's the moon, that's everybody. Do you not think that the whole planet is not under radical transformation? What is Aquarius? Who rules Aquarius? It's all radical transformation. So now here comes Mars. What kind of aspect do we have? Quincunx. Go back to Old Soul, New Soul. Robert and I just talked about it about 2 episodes back. We talked about the Quincunx. I'll refer you to that. But it is this tension to pull to higher ground. Divine frustration, as he mentioned. And actually, it would be really worth your time to listen to that in detail because he talks about the Quincunx, if you take it from the first house, reaches over to the 6th house and to the 8th house. Well, the 8th house, of course, is death and transformation, death and rebirth. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly. But this is Mars moving into Virgo, 6th house, health, work, Quincunx to Pluto, divine frustration, transformation. These are the 2 most powerful planets on the astrological wheel, at least from representing the symbolism, right? Mars rules Aries. That's the force and power of getting things done, moving things forward, new beginnings, starting something new and pushing it through to completion. And then think of Pluto as 3 times the strength of Mars. Pluto is like, well, it rules nuclear, so think of it like it's the ultimate bomb, it's like the ultimate force in our lives. When something big happens, you often can look for Pluto. And you could even say, could this be something that could affect our health? And there are rumblings. Well, I'm not going to go any further on this, but if you're keeping up with the news, you kind of know where I'm going. Let's just stop there and recognize this for what it is. It is a transiting aspect in the sky. It does involve 2 of the more serious planetary archetypes. So we'll leave the mundane to whatever happens and unfolds there. But let's talk about this from our personal lives perspective. And remember from last week that Mars and Pluto are 2 legs of this yod that we're with all the rest of this week as well. So let's even bring that into this conversation. Focus on the areas represented. Relationships, because Venus is at the top of the yod. Go back and listen to last week's if you missed it. Relationships, money, maybe even your relationship with money, your relationship with work. Are there some transformations that might need to happen there? Maybe work needs to become more spiritual because remember, Neptune is at the other base. So maybe work needs to have a more spiritual element to it. I know a lot of you are thinking and feeling to your bones, there's more for me to be doing here. Well, maybe this is part of that gate, that portal. I know many of you are looking at your relationships right now. That would be under the context of this because Venus is nearly 5 degrees off from Mars, 4 degrees off from Mars. Slowing down, more powerful, turns retrograde next week. You get all this picture. See what's happening? And the whole thing is pointing to if transformation takes place, it's going to be big. So realize that there is this cosmic force supporting you to improve your life, and it's improved along the tensions, the pulls of these squares and these quincunxes. And I'm not going to take time today, but there's a big grand cross in the chart as well. So 2 T-squares, if you will. And what's involved in those? Pluto and the nodes of the moon and the moon itself today. God's hand is definitely at work in our lives and in this chart. And by the way, when Mars moves into Virgo by next Thursday, the 20th, it will be opposite Saturn. It really is going to be interesting. 2 weeks from today, when we cue up the microphone to do this podcast, 2 weeks from today on Monday, where we are both in our lives and in the world. The subtleties of this are profound and they are loud. So don't resist what's going on. I had a little prompt the other day. I was just running some errands and as I walked out of this store, this prompt just soaked into my soul. And it said, things are changing. Don't resist them. Well, I know astrology is woven into the fabric of our lives, and it is a guiding tool. And I know these daily transits appear and then they don't, but, we keep our eye on the energy. But this is one of the most profound signatures, probably all the way back to, some of the big ones, but Saturn and Pluto back in January of 2020, Saturn and Jupiter in December of 2020, the eclipses. There have been many along the way. But the transformation of this, where things are changing, don't resist. And when you look at these areas of your life, relationship, work, money, health, open up to the transformation and realize that very likely on the other side of all of this analysis and everything you do and what you analyze in your life and maybe what the universe helps you change will never be the same on the other side of this. This is permanent, big shift transformation. And a lot of it is getting the stuff out of your life that no longer serves. So don't resist. Open up and do the work. Back tomorrow. Love you.